When Universal Music Group acquired Downtown Music Holdings for $775 million, the deal sent an immediate shockwave through the royalty software ecosystem. The European Commission stepped in to approve the transaction, but they attached one strict binding condition. Curve Royalty Systems has to be completely carved out and sold to an independent buyer. The regulators' concern? Curve processes royalties for hundreds of independent labels. If UMG owned that infrastructure, they would gain unacceptable visibility into rivals' financial data. To prevent this, the Commission ordered a full divestment. The pipelines to UMG are cut. While that ruling protects your data privacy, it leaves thousands of independent rights holders operating their financial infrastructure in total limbo until a buyer is found. Right now, Curve is operating under a strict ring fence. It functions as a standalone business, while the search for an approved buyer plays out behind closed doors. That creates an obvious anxiety. You rely on this software to pay your artists, but you have zero visibility into who will actually own it next year, or what their strategic intentions might be. The impulse is to jump ship immediately, but migrating historical royalty data mid-contract is a massive disruption, risking immediate payment errors. The most practical question you have to answer right now isn't who the buyer is, it's how your contract dictates your next move. Do you prep an exit or sit tight? Ripping out your financial plumbing today simply trades the unknown variable of a future owner for the immediate chaos of a platform migration. For most users, calculated patience is the smartest play. Let's look at your options, starting with the most straightforward category, the direct client. This is you if your company signed a direct agreement with Curve to handle your royalty accounting. This flowchart maps out the European Commission's baseline protections. The default position is that your contract, your historical data, and your platform access automatically transfer to the new buyer. You don't have to lift a finger. The EC mandates that Curve maintain its operational viability and its staffing levels throughout the entire transition. Your day-to-day service continues without interruption. The catch is what happens after the ink dries. The major unknown variable here is the financial motivation of whoever buys the company. A private equity firm might prioritize aggressive margin extraction and raise your fees. A strategic buyer operating in adjacent tech services might pivot the product roadmap to serve an entirely different segment of the market. By doing nothing, you avoid all the immediate transition costs, but you passively tether your business to a new ecosystem that could look very different in 12 months. As a direct client, you have guaranteed short-term stability. The trade-off is that you remain completely blind to any long-term structural changes until the sale is final. The situation is far more complicated if you fall into the shared customer category. This applies if you use Virgin Music Group or Downtown for distribution or publishing, and Curve processes your royalties as part of that broader bundled service. Unlike direct clients, the regulator's framework forces you to make an active, definitive choice about where your financial data goes next. This matrix breaks down your two options. Path A is the default. You elect to follow Curve and your data to the new independent buyer. Your historical royalty data remains perfectly intact, so your migration effort is zero. But you fracture the unified vendor relationship you previously held with Virgin or Downtown. You now have two separate partners to manage. Path B involves staying with Virgin or Downtown and abandoning the Curve platform entirely. The critical flaw with this route is that Virgin and Downtown have not publicly detailed what their replacement royalty software will actually be. It is completely undefined. You keep your unified vendor relationship, but choosing this option guarantees you will face a high-friction, mid-contract migration to get your data onto whatever new system they eventually build. Never assume an unannounced replacement offering will have the same reporting depth, speed, or technical capabilities that you currently rely on from Curve. If you are leaning towards staying with your distributor, you need to aggressively demand a hard development timeline and a detailed technical spec sheet from them immediately. Shared customers carry the heaviest burden in this divestment. You are forced to choose between fracturing your operational partnerships or gambling your financial data on software that might not exist. Regardless of which category you fall into, your first step is to initiate a deep audit of your current service contract today. You need this scorecard fully filled out. Locate your exact term expiration dates, calculate your required renewal notice windows, and identify any specific exit provisions you hold. You have to map out your legal leverage now, while the platform is still independent. You want to know exactly how quickly you can leave before a new owner formally takes control and tries to lock you in. There is exactly one scenario that justifies an immediate exit. If your contract is already approaching its natural renewal window, you have a distinct advantage. That looming deadline transforms the threat of a forced migration into a massive strategic opportunity. You can actively evaluate the market and negotiate your next step from a position of absolute choice. Conversely, if you are locked into a mid-contract term, executing a premature exit guarantees you will absorb heavy transition costs and operational downtime with absolutely zero guaranteed benefit. Knowing the exact boundaries of your legal leverage is the only reliable way to prevent your business from getting trapped if the eventual buyer introduces hostile pricing or terms. This chart maps out your final decision framework, weighing the effort of moving against the risk of staying. If you are mid-contract, your urgency is low. Your strategy is to wait for the buyer. Absorbing heavy data migration costs to soothe temporary anxiety is an unforced error. Let the process play out. The solitary exception remains. If your contract timeline is up, you have the green light to accelerate your exit and find an alternative now. For the vast majority of the industry, the golden rule applies. Do not make a permanent platform decision until the new buyer's identity and their product roadmap are officially public. If you need objective clarity on your specific exposure, get a professional review of your contract terms. Model out exact contingency plans for both a private equity buyer and a strategic tech buyer. The European Commission's divestment mandate is forcing the entire industry to adapt, but calculated patience, backed by a firm grasp of your contract data, is your ultimate safeguard against risk.